Dear sisters and brothers, I'd like to thank all of you for all the kind messages you sent me on my birthday on Wednesday. Thank you very much. It's very good to know that we are loved. It's wonderful to know that we have a very nice, kind, and amazing family here in Canada. So again, thank you very much. I have some notes here and I would like to share them with you, as I know that you are at your home, at your place, self-isolated, and you want to hear from your pastor. Well, as you know, on Tuesday I called for an extraordinary meeting with our board of directors to discuss an action plan regarding pastoral care for our congregation during these times. We are sure you are all awaiting a direction from the leadership of the church, and this is the first video about our action plan. And the first item in this plan is about prayer, is regarding to prayer. I know that there are many other things we can do along with prayer, but I wouldn't like to do anything else without prayer. So prayer is so important. As I said before, I have been investing a long time in praying for you and for your family. And also I'm praying to God in behalf of myself, as I am eager to hear from Him on how to be a good leader for our beloved church family that I know He loves so much. And this is the main topic of this video then. How can you pray in times like this? What will be the ways you can prayerfully respond to the ongoing COVID-19 crisis? You know, in this time of uncertainty, we, disciples of Jesus, look to our Master for answers. We look to Him for protection and for hope. But even politicians and authorities have called their people to pray. Yeah, we live in interesting times indeed. People are so afraid that they are starting to understand that, well, maybe there may be a God we can pray to and wait for some help. But what would you pray for? If this is your question, I would like to help you, because I like to present you with 8 items that are very, very important to include in your prayer schedule as you are at your place at home. First, pray for the end to the virus spread. This is the very first and obvious item. This virus did not take God by surprise. God is still governing and sustaining the world. He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together, as Paul says in Colossians. Pray for God's healing mercy, and that He would graciously bring this pandemic to an end. Pray for healing for all those affected by the virus. Second place, pray for government leaders. At all times, we disciples of Jesus are called to pray for those in position of authority. You can read that in 1 Timothy chapter 2. This is especially true during a time of national emergency. Pray for the Prime Ministry. Pray for the House of Commons, the members of the Parliament, the Senate, and for the premiers of all provinces. Because these people, they have a huge responsibility on their shoulders, especially now in this crisis. Pray for all those making decisions related to public health and safety. Pray for a spirit of bipartisanship as lawmakers work together to protect people. In the third place, pray for the healthcare workers. Thank God for every man and every woman who is a healthcare worker. Ask God to protect them with strength, health, and courage. Pray that despite the trials they may face in their careers, especially these days, the fact still stands that God is God alone, that God is their matchless God. Ask God to give them internal peace when life pushes them towards anxiety. Ask God to protect their health, to protect their family, to protect their finances, so they can help people who are in need. Fourth, pray for the church leaders. You know, pastors around the world are making difficult decisions related to public worship. and the safety of their members. In many places, the criticism they suffer without the church, but even within the church, is unfortunate but unavoidable. If they decide to suspend services, they will be castigated for the lack of faith. But if they decide to continue to gather, they will be derided as socially irresponsible. So pray that pastors will have wisdom to faithfully shepherd the congregation under their care, even if they are unable to physically gather. 5. Pray for the vulnerable. Authorities tell us that immunocompromised people are especially at risk as the virus spreads. Pray for protection for the elderly, diseased, and those facing financial hardship. Pray for students, for example, who are being required to vacate university and college housing with very little notice. Over the next few weeks, there will be many opportunities to meet tangible needs, and pray that God's people meet these opportunities with wisdom and grace. 6. Pray for honest reporting. Disciple of Jesus should pray for those in the news media. We have to do that. Pray that reporters and journalists would accurately report updates about the status of the virus and not seek to peddle conspiracies, politicize the threat, or stoke fear when it's unwarranted. In other words, pray for a posture of trust. Because the Bible teaches that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control. You know that. So pray for enduring faith during the season of heightened fear and anxiety and confusion. You know that appropriated precautions should be taken. We are doing this, but we must continue to rely on God and trust His plans. As Apostle Paul says in Romans chapter 8, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purposes. And you have been called according to God's purposes. 7. Pray for a spirit of generosity. As you may know, and certainly you have spent some thought about this during these days that you are home, churches, they may face a loss of income exactly at a time when there are many opportunities to meet physical needs. Pray that God's people will manifest a spirit of generosity and sacrificially give of their time and resources to meet needs that will arise. We see that the same thing Paul saying in 2 Corinthians chapter 9. And here particularly, I want to thank all sisters and brothers of All Nations Christian Fellowship I want to thank you for your faithfulness to God with regards to tithing. Thank you very much for your support right in the middle of this crisis. As the leader of this local church, All Nations Christian Fellowship, it is very comforting and encouraging to me to know that you have not refused to continue giving the financial support we need for this ministry. If you are watching this video and you are not a member of All Nations Christian Fellowship, I still want to encourage you to continue to be faithful to your local church in this difficult time. Your local church, it needs you. It is counting on your help in this moment of crisis. So don't stop giving the financial support your local church needs. Be faithful to the church you are a member and continue to give back your tithing so that the work of your church can keep moving forward. And 8th, pray for the spread of the gospel. If the first item of this prayer list is to pray for the end of the spread of the virus, we can also pray for the spread of the good news of God. It's a difficult time indeed, but it is in time of great anxiety that pray that God's people will be ready to meet the world with the comfort and hope that only the good news of Jesus Christ can offer. And as I said before, Jesus is the light that shines through our lives. So go shine some light every time you have a chance. But this is also a great opportunity for you to shine Jesus' light over your very own life. What do I mean by that? Well, a crisis like this shows the true character of disciple of Jesus. The anxiety around COVID-19 will allow you to really discern the spiritual state of your life. You see, if you respond to this crisis correctly, it can turn out to be a defining moment of discipleship for your life and for your family. Why? Well, because in the face of imminent dangers, our priorities are rearranged. This is a great opportunity to have deep conversations about what you are living for. Are you merely existing, or are you truly living? Are you living for the right stuff? Are you marching to the right drumbeat? Are you governed by biblical or worldly values? Are you living for what really matters? These are the most important questions you may ask to God now in the conversation that you are having with your God as you are at your place, self-isolated, but not distant, not far away from God. I will keep posting more videos to give you many help, to give all the help that you need. So trust God, trust that your God will keep you safe, and help us praying for all these items. In the name of Jesus, thank you very much. Be safe. Bye now.